House in a red state, average red state, according to research by Trulia, Jed Kolko, $100 a square foot. In the average blue state, it's $200 a square foot, but it's probably 5 or 10 times that in a big metro market like Manhattan or Boston. So really, this middle-class lifestyle that I grew up in New Jersey, by the way, is out of reach for working and middle-class people in the blue states. Red states, whether you like it or not, are delivering that to their folks.
Now, in terms of inequality, there's a great chart in the piece, which I think we have. Over time, you've seen the shift in inequality move from mostly red states in 1979 to blue states today. Is that an effect of government, or is that an effect of economics, the business cycle, and the market?
I think it's only partly effective government. We know the red states have been low cost, low tax, bust unions, right to work, and I think that had a role. But in the blue states, it's just that costs have gotten so high, and really, we all know this, the good, high-paying manufacturing jobs disappeared, and our economy is cleaved. Our labor market is cleaved into those high-paid knowledge jobs that maybe a 20 or 30% get, and then the rest left with these low-paid service jobs, and then blue states, that's just become magnified.
Yeah, Richard, I found the piece very interesting. I think it hits at the heart of the debate we're having in this country right now in terms of how to move forward with the economy. There are really pros and cons as you lay out to both, which is why there's an opening for both parties to reach people with that economic message if they get it right. One thing that stood out to me, though, from the piece is that blue and red states depend on each other, that we can't have a country that's all red or all blue. They actually rely on each other to survive.
I think there's two things. One, I think for folks who live in the blue states, what's the matter with Kansas? What's the matter with the red states? How are these people voting this in? They're voting it in partly because it's delivering them a high-quality way of life. So it makes perfect sense. It's not irrational. The second point, though, is the red states have these economies that are based on suburban sprawl and building a lot of homes and fracking. I think both of those two things can't be depended on. The blue states really have the knowledge economies, the high-tech economies, the innovation economies that are going to power America forward. And in some ways, these two groups of people need to get together. One example would be a place like Houston, a place that took those resources, that took that energy money, and turned it into great universities, great knowledge centers. So I think there is a way forward. We're going to have to figure out how to do that.
And Abby's question points to something that actually Mike Huckabee is kind of arguing in a strange way in his book, God's Guns, Grits and Gravy and Gratuitous Cultural Pandering, I think. I mean, he makes this, I think, very simplistic argument that in the red flyover state, it's the bubbas, and on the coast, it's the people living in the bubble. But I do think that there is an increasing divide culturally between the blue states and the red states. I mean, we talk about wealth inequality, but that's another sort of divide, another sort of two Americas.
Yeah, we've looked a lot at this on everything from gun control to abortion. You can go down the list. There's an incredible cultural divide, but I do think that's underpinned by economic circumstances. The people coming to work in the blue states, you know, or migrating from everywhere to the blue states, they're the kind of people who want to work in a knowledge economy, want to work in a high-tech company, work in media or entertainment. They know that women and men and gay and straight, we all got to get along. People migrating to the red states have a different kind of, perhaps different kind of philosophy, and they have a different set of cultural values. So our country is polarizing both economically and culturally, but I think it's the economics that lead the culture rather than vice versa.
Right, and that's really a big point the president was making in his speech. Richard Florida, thanks for your time today.
Thank you guys. Great to be with you.
Great.